Have you ever wished for a classic upright standing Mercedes star on an electric Mercedes? Then you have to go for the new Maybach EQS SUV, the large electric SUV, now also as the Maybach version, and it has a distinctive look already in the front. Yes, the closed grille from the EQS EQE family, but then here you cannot see a sensor. Normally you would have maybe like a ugly black square here, or the other versions have the big Mercedes star here and then they can hide the sensor. But here the trick is, the whole thing is the sensor. And then these fins here on the top, you can do that because they are not from chrome. Chrome would block the sensor, but here designers are happy because they can just make the sensor disappear. And also it's better in the functionality because you can have the sensor scanning everything. Really interesting. It also has more distinctive feature. We'll tell you all about it with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. And we can see this, the digital light here on the side, and the light strip, the daytime running light, goes all across the vehicle. When you activate the turning indicators, they're here at the side replacing the daytime running light. And you can already see that you can apply the two-tone paint here with black on top and this brownish layer on the lower part, and in the lower part then more the elegant contrasts. Short German lesson. This is here the official naming, and you know, we in German we have this in the language, which is kind of hard to speak. So people tend to say like, it's Maybach, but it's not Maybach. It is Maybach. Listen and repeat. Maybach. The length at 5 meters 13 or 202 inches. And this is particularly interesting. This is the same length and also same wheelbase if you compare it to the normal EQS SUV. In the combustion engine models, the Maybach version is always longer wheelbase and so on. Here you do not have to do that because the electric vehicles have a long wheelbase anyway and a lot of space on the interior because of the purpose-built EV platform. We will see if that works on the interior very soon. From these two-tone paints, you have 5 different choices actually, and wheels 21 or 22 inch. These are also 22 inch in this closed design. They also serve an aerodynamic purpose indeed. And you can also get forged wheels. This is not a forged one here, but you could also get one. Technology news as well. Introduced with the EQE SUV, you now can also decouple the front electric motor. One in the rear, one in the front. But when you don't need all the power, you decouple the front and also have more efficiency gains then. This is now also featuring the new heat pump, also introduced with the EQE SUV. So the whole EQE, EQS family will profit from this news bit by bit. Technology in the rear, yes, rear axle steering is available, 4.5 or optional 10 degrees. The rear wheels turn in the opposite direction than the front wheels, massively reducing the turning circle. That's very important for such a long car as this is. Airmatic air suspension is also standard, but set on a softer tone. And the design in the rear, you have these 5 spiral element design here on the outside each, and just the Maybach version of the EQS SUV gets also this helix or spiral design on the inside, so you, so to speak, have a double helix. And this one also exclusively gets a welcoming or goodbye signature for the inside of the rear right there. And then we have this brighter chrome-like contrast in the lower part. Battery size 108 kilowatt hours net. This will bring an approximate range of 500 kilometers or 300 miles. Recharging with a 200 kilowatt peak, and this will bring you in optimum case 10 to 80% state of charge in 31 minutes. It's also preconditioning available when you hit a charging station in the GPS. When you have the key to this one, you can accelerate in 4.4 seconds to 1 kilometers an hour, 62 miles an hour. So very good acceleration boost indeed, almost performance car-like. Well, it is performance car-like, this acceleration. And 210 kilometers an hour or 130 miles an hour is the top speed. And now the door handles here, flush, integrated, but they don't do so much for aerodynamics. I think it's a little bit over-engineering, to be honest. And then door closing sound when I slam it is really nice. But you also, oh, do you hear that? Ooh, there's an outside speaker creating this sound indeed. It is actually placed here in this, here you hear that it's a little bit louder. God is coming from heaven. Yeah, that's, you know, from car heaven. That's how it sounds. I think that was also the intention. And then here you can also have the soft close right there. There you see this two-tone paint as well with this extra stripe. Interesting, right? And then let's take a detailed look inside. Interior doors already with a nice ambient lighting integration. I really like that. And here we have a matte wood atmosphere. Underneath the door you have these tiny Maybach logos. Oh, you also have a two-tone design for the steering wheel here, and then the slick black material on the outside ring. Maybach badge in the lower part, hashtag capacitive BS on the steering wheel, and you can already see the hyper screen is in this case standard for the Maybach version. In other EQS or EQS SUV it is an €8,000 extra. Special seats with a quilted structure, and this looks particularly spectacular when you put the forward seat area a little bit longer, and the upright part also looks pretty spectacular and features a microfiber cushion here for even softer comfort. Here, this is then the material that directly gets in contact with your head, and that's why microfiber is even better here. And Mercedes here in the Maybach version does not offer any alternative to animal skin, and I found it a little bit irritating because the entry versions, and when you're a normal customer, so to speak, then you should be interested in sustainability and care about animals. But then when you have a lot of money, sustainability doesn't count, and you don't care about animals, I don't get that. And here when you're sitting on it, well, it's really comfortable, but the normal comfort seat also, the normal EQS SUV models, I think more or less also serves the same purpose. Steering wheel, electric control, of course, in and out, up and down, and it goes really far in and out, and headroom with 189 or 6'2", still leaves a lot of headroom, and there's also this huge panoramic roof here. There will be two actually, that's a split, and you can also open this panoramic roof, so it's one that you can actually still open. That's actually quite cool, and also with the ambient lighting integration, that looks fancy, doesn't it? And now even more exciting, the rear seating area. Welcome, there we go. You have rear seat entertainment, you have the seats here with separate cushions, and once again the head restraint cushions as well. And you can also get a through bench, but this is here the optional chauffeur package with the single seater setup. Look at that, how the ambient lighting is around the back part of the seat, and more wood is being used. That's a lovely detail. Also here once again at the inside of the doors. And you also have electric shades for the rear doors if it gets too sunny, for example. And first of all, on this side here, when the driver's tall also in front of me with a separate cushion, I'm not exactly sure what I should do with that at this moment, but of course you don't have to use it. Here, a lot of legroom left, so indeed you don't need a longer wheelbase. That's actually totally fine. You cannot fold the seats here like trunk-wise and so on, but the good thing is that you can either have this sleeping position, but you can also adjust them. But even more interesting is here the other side, of course, because that is the typical chauffeur side. Maybe you also hear these ambient sounds coming from the rear, like jungle ambient sounds or something. Here, you can press this button at the inside of the doors, and then the front seat is going forward like this. It takes a while. While it's doing that, you can maybe enjoy a glass of champagne. Very interesting detail here also that they are basically very well secured right here. So you put them in, and then they are secured that they don't fall all over the place while driving. And then also, the lower part here, the calf rest comes out. Wow. That's amazing, and remember, we're still in an electric SUV, and this is happening. The legroom here, when you're really, really tall, it works, basically, you see, but, this already gets close for my height, for my size. Of course, it's fine, I don't want to complain, but when you think about an like Audi A8 long wheelbase or the Maybach in the long wheelbase of the S-Class, it's just a little bit longer, also in the BMW i7 or the BMW 7 Series, so it works, but in these really long luxury sedans, you have a little bit more, legroom in this chauffeur seating position. If you're a little bit, if you're less tall than me, then of course it's absolutely fine. Look at that here, also view to the panoramic roof. That's a thing you can really enjoy. Wow, it's really super comfortable here in the rear. I can really make myself at home. Also with more features in this back console, you have this separate screen, so screens really all over the vehicle, and basically everything is mirroring everything. When I control it here, also the left side is changing and so on. And here you can also then control the massage functions. You can go for a classic massage, left and right. So I can also control the one of my passenger next to me, for example. And then you can enjoy a seat massage while driving, for example. Oh, also intensive? Why not? See you later. If you feel like more champagne, you can use the fridge right here. Or if you feel more like working, inductive charging pad for your phone. And then here you can fold up this whole thing. And then you can take out the tables like this, either for fine dining or then maybe also for your laptop. You can also slide around right here. And this is a clever feature here, this small lower lip, because then actually your laptop is really held in place. Interior cockpit overview, the hyperscreen we know from the EQS and EQS SUV. And on the right side you have the passenger screen then, either with this screensaver, but you can also mirror all the functions here. Huge middle infotainment. This is the car internal map here, by the way. And you also have special electric settings here, where you can also define the charging maximum, for example, for the battery and so on. In the lower part, you always have the climate unit integrated. You can also see how the ambient lighting then changes when you adjust the temperature. You can of course also adjust the interior colors for the ambient lighting. In the interior gauges, you can get the known ones, but also special Maybach instruments here with their logos, or also full screen map, and the off-road look is always very cool. Of course, you also get a head-up display. Here, middle console, again, nice matte wood. Slide is open and you have a lot of space. Inductive charging pad and 2 USB-C chargers. Trunk or boot is also particularly unique. It is limited, just 440 liters in here. Also, if you compare it to the normal versions, here the fridge takes space, but you can also easily take it out. It is quite heavy indeed. And there you can see you can still store some luggage on the suitcase on the side. Here the width is a little bit less than 1 meter or 40 inches, and the normal length is also somewhat limited, just 90 centimeters or 35 inches. But charging cables underneath, hardly any space, maybe barely. And this is the most special piece in the trunk. It basically seals off the trunk for better noise comfort. And you see this top part here as well. And when this one closes, it basically matches the part here, and then they form this really good seal, so you have a comparable low noise also in the rear seats when we think about a closed-off trunk luxury sedan. And if you want to see more Maybach models here on our channel, check them out right now.